Hey everybody, this is Zach over at The Edge Pro. Today we're going to be talking about the cordless clipper revolution. As we move forward in technology and more products move to being in the cordless clipper range, there's a few things that are really important that we need to talk about. And the number one thing that we're going to talk about first off, and it's something we talk about a lot, is blade care. But we're also going to talk about how that specifically relates to how you take care of your cordless tools. In front of me I've got the whole line of your wall adjustable barber clippers. You've got your wall Creativa, your KM cordless. On the Andis side I've got a ZR, the new Andis Vita cordless GTX EXO clipper, and there's so many more. Everything I have out here right now is actually lithium ion, which is awesome. Pretty much everything is going that way, which is a really big upgrade. You've got that full battery life through to the time the battery's empty of charge, which is great. But there's one thing these clippers can't do, and that's power through poor maintenance. What that looks like and what we're talking about is, as you use your blades, you have two pieces of metal that are rubbing against each other, and that creates friction. Friction creates heat. Heat helps soften the material, allows them to dull quicker, but mostly what it does is it can burn an animal. So a lot of times what people use is a coolant, or they change blades. But most often what we see people is they just keep on using them. The problem with that is that as that heat builds up, it can actually turn all the debris and oil and coolant that's in your blade into kind of a gluey material, which is where we recommend you use your Andis Cool Care, your Oster Cool Lube, Wall Blade Ice, something like that, that's going to help clean out the gunk and it's going to help cool those blades down. The problem is, while most of these cans, your Cool Care, Cool Lube, Blade Ice, Barbicide, they're all listed as lubricants, they don't do a sufficient job lubricating your blades, which is why you need blade oil. So when you're using a cordless tool, if you're not cooling and cleaning and you're not oiling, the problem we have is that the blade becomes dry. And when the blade is dry, it doesn't have something helping those two pieces that are rubbing together slide easier. It starts to wear on your battery. The number one thing that reduces the runtime on a cordless tool is a dry blade or a dirty blade. And the number one thing that can fix that is a good combination of coolant, clean it, and blade oil. This is true and should be used on all clippers, even corded ones. The problem we have now is that the cordless tools don't have power behind them to work through the dry blade, where these tools require that lubrication and almost more often. The recommendation is for every 15 minutes of use you should be cooling and cleaning, and every 3 times you use your Cool Care, so about every 45 minutes, you should be reapplying your blade oil. And that's going to do two things. One, it's going to make your blades last longer. Two, and most importantly, as we're talking about in this video, it's going to keep the runtime on your cordless tools higher. So some of these tools listed, some of them run for 2 hours or an hour, something like that. If we're not taking care of our blades, you might as well actively cut those run times in half. So, you have a tool that's supposed to run for 100 minutes, now it's 50. 2 hours, now it's an hour. And that's if you're lucky, because the more the problem persists, then you start having other problems with your clippers. If you're wearing and tearing on that battery, maybe you need a new battery. It can damage the motor, it can damage your wear parts. And it's just kind of downhill from there. So the fundamental and the base of taking care of these cordless tools as they become prominent is going to be in your blade care and maintenance. It's just super important, especially on the barber side, where people haven't necessarily needed some of the oils and things in the past. With their electromagnetic tools, once we're getting into these rotary battery tools, it just becomes that much important, and we really want to emphasize that. So now we're going to go through these tools, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to oil and clean. real quick, and we're going to show you what that looks like. For that, I'm going to take our Wall KM Cordless. It's a detachable blade tool. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and I'm going to walk you through that process. So with your clipper running, you're going to take your coolant and cleaner, and you're going to spray it into the cutter side. That's going to allow the cleaner to work through the teeth and the moving parts. And then we're also going to kind of blow it forward at an angle on the sides, which is going to allow it to get into the more action part. What we don't want to do is spray it this way, because that would allow it to spray kind of into your clipper, and if you get that liquid into the actual motor part, it'll kill your tool. So we're just going to take that and we're going to spray through there, a little on the sides, just like that. Typically then you have a towel, your shirt, whatever you want to get all oily, and you're going to wipe off the excess coolant. Now I've done this say 2 or 3 times, it's been about 45 minutes. Now it's time to apply our oil. Again, we are going to do that with our clipper running. But if you look, and we'll get some detail of this, we have a back rail and a front rail, and we're going to put a drop of oil on each one on both sides of our blade, and then we're going to put 1 drop in the middle. Now that's a lot of oil, but the reason we're doing that is that while 1 drop of oil is twice as much as you need to cover everything, it's about getting that oil spread evenly throughout the blade and all the moving parts. And unfortunately, the only way to get it everywhere is to apply it in multiple locations. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that for you. So we're just going to take it, and I'm going to put 1 drop in the front, 1 drop on the back rail, do it on the other side, and then 1 right in the middle there. And then we're going to let this run for a little bit just so that it can move that oil around. And then if you have extra, you can always wipe it off. You can see I have a little bit of residue on my hand, and sometimes there's more than that you can get off just by using paper towel or a rag or something like that that you keep on hand just to wipe that excess off. So it's a pretty quick, it's an easy process. Your oil's like $2.50 for this bottle. It'll last you a very long time. Your Cool Care is a little bit more than that, you know, $10 a bottle or something, but again, you get a lot of use out of it, and it's going to really save your tools and give it a longer lifetime than if we don't do that maintenance. It's very, very important and critical to your charge times running longer, your wear parts lasting longer, your blade staying sharp longer. It all starts with that fundamental of blade care. I hope that information is useful for you. I hope it can help you and your tools and your business as you move forward. Again, making that a very fundamental and necessary. If you like the video and the content and want to see more like it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel where there's lots more content just like it. Thank you, and you have a great day.